Welcome back. We're going to talk about page designing here, and especially for 2023. What are some page designing trends right now that your group could, decide, hey, let's try doing some of that stuff. Have a cool looking book this year doing some hot, trendy things that are popular right now. Now, first off, hopefully you took the time to watch the Jostens J-class called 2023 Design Trends. This one was done by my friend Kristen Scott, who is an outstanding Jostens education specialist. All right, that's a fancy term. It means Kristen really knows her stuff. She joined Jostens just a couple of years ago. Before that, she was, I would say, one of the top middle school yearbook advisors in the country from Texas. Her book was incredible. I mean, it would put a lot of high school books to shame, to be frank, and she was working with 8th graders and 7th graders. Now, if you're a middle school group watching this, yes, you can do this too. If you're a high school group, come on, no excuses, all right, no excuses. If middle schoolers can do it, so can you. So hopefully you took the time to watch her video. I'm not going to go into all this stuff. She does some really deep diving in here on really cool stuff, and she shows lots of examples of what she's talking about, what's kind of hot and trendy right now. Let me share again my number one rule of page design. It's a simple one. Page designing should never be random. All right, random means blah, no rhyme, no reason, just plop, 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 just throwing things on the page. If there's picture boxes, they're all the same size, which is not necessarily a good thing. There's only really one place in the yearbook probably where we want all the pictures to be the same size. That's your portrait section. All right, we want everybody's head size to be the same. There's equality. We want that, no doubt. Other parts of the book, we want some variety there. And part of that is just in good page designing. Now, if you watch Kristen's video, what's hot and trendy right now? Well, for some reason, the 90s are hot and trendy. What are some things that happened in the 90s? One thing I've noticed, Kristen didn't have this, the 70s, what's usually called retro. It's interesting, the last couple of years, retro has been really hot. They want things, schools want things that look kind of 70s, wild colors and big shapes and rounding things and all those. Okay, whatever. All right, if that's a hot item and you think, hey, let's do that, great, let's go for it. So 90s and 70s, not sure what happened to the 80s. Maybe that'll be next year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. She talks about typography trends. Now, that's text. That's fonts. A lot of folks totally overlook this. Think about this. Every font style you see, all right, every font style you see, like this, all right, that's a work of art. Someone designed that. All right, someone made it. It's like its own little piece of art. Notice that every font style is a little different, or a lot of different. That's called typography. Well, what are some of the important trends with typography right now? Kristen goes over that in her video. She talks about people illustrations. How can we make people look kind of cool and different? Photo treatments. How can we do different things with photos? All right, we have all color books primarily these days. What about doing some different things? Guys, it's okay to put black and white in your book. All right, you can have some images in black and white in your book. In fact, today that's actually seen as being fashionable, cool, trendy, or maybe a black and white image with some kind of a color treatment put with it. You can use your tools from Jostens to do all this kind of cool stuff. And all of a sudden your page is like, whoa, those are really cool. That's great. Let's see what you can do there. All right, here's a quick thought. All right, and again, Kristen shows a lot of great examples in her video. Is it okay to emulate other people's work? I think the answer is yes. Now, there's a difference, I think, between copy and emulate. Copy means you're going to take someone else's work and use it exactly. Now, is that against the law? Not really. It's not plagiarism per se. That's sort of a different animal. But my thought is maybe don't exactly copy what somebody else has done. Instead, emulate what they've done. They've done a certain page design or certain elements on a page. You're thinking, hey, that's kind of cool. Let's try that. And maybe you do it sort of your own version of that. It's not exactly like that other one, but they're cousins, if you will, all right? I think it's perfectly fine to emulate other people's work, all right? What's the old line? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Well, we're flattering maybe that other yearbook or that other trendy magazine that you pulled some ideas from. We're emulating them, all right? We think that's pretty cool. We'd like to do it too. So emulating is perfectly fine. I tell you, I've mentioned this before in some videos. Hopefully you've seen them. Templates. I'm a big fan of templates. Use templates. Again, never random. So either find a Jostens template or templates and maybe modify them a little bit to, make them look a little different the way you'd like them to. Maybe it's somehow tied into your theme or something like that. Or, create your own templates. If you're really into design, you're somebody, you're like, I want to tackle this myself. And you're not going to do this randomly. You're going to follow basic designing rules and do some cool, trendy stuff. Great. If you've never checked out the gallery templates on Yearbook Avenue in that left-hand column, look for the tab, click on there. Top yearbook spreads from across the country over, I believe, a 7-year period. You want to emulate somebody? There you go. And keep in mind, for Layout Pro users, you can copy those templates and use them in your book. Just hit the appropriate Add to My Templates button, but emulate. Maybe change them up a little bit, change the colors, do something a little different. Maybe you have a certain font style you're using, it's tied into your theme and your cover design. All right, we're going to change it to this font style. Stuff like that. It's okay to emulate. At the very end, if you notice, Kristen talked about the Pantone color of the year. Now, if you've never heard of Pantone, Pantone is like the world experts on color. These folks are all about color. The paint companies, like house paint and stuff like that, they pay attention to hot colors right now from Pantone when they mix up their latest versions of paints. The 2022 Pantone color of the year is called Very Peri, which is periwinkle. I'll be honest, I'm not a color expert. It's blue, okay? It's a shade of blue. But for folks that are really into that stuff, all right, well, maybe we want to do something with periwinkle this year. That's up to you. All right, now let's do a student activity here. Now, again, I hope you took the time to watch Kristen's video, because what I want to do here, just for a quick couple of minutes, I want you to, as a group, talk about 3 things that you saw in Kristen's video that you're thinking, we should try that. How about we try that? Now, if somehow you didn't watch her video, stop me here, go back, watch her video. It's about 9 minutes, and then come back to me. And then the student activity is going to be, what are 3 things you saw in Kristen's video that you'd like to do in your book? All right, let's just go for a couple of minutes here. Discuss as a group. All right, ready, set, go. Okay, guys, let me jump back in real quick as a wrap up, then you can continue your discussion. Again, it's okay to emulate. We all do it. Hollywood does it. Fashion, the clothes we wear, does it. Television does it. We all do it. And so we can do that when it comes to our page designing. Hopefully by this point you watched Kristen Scott's video at least once. Maybe go back and watch it a second time. Maybe go back and watch it a third time. I bet the third time you watch it, hey, I didn't notice that one before the last time. Great stuff. And then what are at least 3 things you saw in her video you're thinking, let's do that in our book this year. Let's liven things up and do some of the coolest page designs we have ever done in the pages of this year's yearbook. Really cool stuff, all right? And of course, keep in mind, your Jostens representative. Let them know what you're doing. Ask them for advice. We're here to help. Thanks again for watching.